big game tonight, absolutely, and it's live on talkSPORT. West Ham against Wolves, and former West Ham boss Slaven Bilic in studio with us. Simon, you remember this fella as a player, and you'll remember him as a manager as well. What stands out in your mind about Slaven the manager? I mean, I remember him, this absolute desire to win football matches at any cost, gave everything.
Yeah, I think he was a sensible manager. I think of the way that he interacted with the people that he worked for. I mean, the challenges that he took on were difficult jobs. West Ham was a difficult job with the expectation of the West Ham fan base. I'm interested to see, what do you do when you walk into a job like Watford? Do you walk into that job thinking, there's a distinct possibility I'm going to get the sack relatively shortly? I mean, how do you approach that, knowing what the history of that club has been with the amount of managers that go through the door? When you're a manager walking in, do you go, I'm not going to be here for long? Or do you think, I'm going to change the culture of the owner?
It's a great question. It's a great question, but you know, I'm not a big-headed guy, but I think that no matter what way of life, if you are successful, you are that the big part of it that you are so confident in yourself. And of course, before you sign, you know there's an opportunity. You know the history. There have been 5 or 6 of them, or 10 at Watford, whatever, in last year or 2 years or whatever. And you know that there's a possibility. But you know, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to be successful. So you think positively. Because that kind of thinking brought you in a chance to get a job or jobs. No, so I was the same then. You know, Watford, of course, you know what happened to Roy Hodgson, what happened to that one before him, and blah, 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 and blah, blah, millions of them. But you go, on the other hand, I got a chance. It's in a championship. They're a big club. They have some top players and everything. So you are underestimating those kind of, that side of the story.
But what made you apprehensive taking the job in the first place? Because you know that culturally, of course you're going to back yourself, because otherwise you shouldn't be a football manager, right?
Exactly.
But going into that, do you approach the job in the first place for actually going to speak to these guys with apprehension? Do you think, do you look at it from that point of view? Because getting in there and proving them wrong is one thing, but actually wanting to work for a club like Watford, whose sole focus is, if a manager doesn't do it in a short space of time, I'm going to be out the door.
You know that, but again, I remember me with Watford. I went for a meal, because Croatia is not far from Udine, where Mr. Pozzo was the owner of the club. I went there for a meal and we spoke. I done my homework, I did that and that. I came to the club, and it was only after after 10 or 12 games, they sacked the manager, and I looked at the team. I go, there is João Pedro is there, Ismail Assar is there, Cathcart is there, Tom Cleverley is there, blah, blah. They had a team that they kept the majority of the players. But what I didn't know then, and what was very important, is that the club was, because they lost something like last 10 games at home, like last 10 or 15 even home games. So the atmosphere at the ground, and I didn't know that, to be fair. And it was possible, of course, but I didn't check that. Because I remember the situation, and you're going to realize straight away what I'm talking about. My first game was Stoke away. 4-0 we beat them. It wasn't 4-0 game, but it finished 4-0. But we deserved it. After new manager, 4 goals. All strikers scored goals. You know what I mean? It can't be bad. Clean sheet. Everything that you dreamed of, perfect. Because it's championship, after 3 days or 4 days, we are playing home against Swansea. So we're warming up. It's a late night game and everything. And 2 minutes before a game, we're in the dressing room. So the captain, he goes, guys, if we don't start well, ignore the crowd. Ignore the crowd. And I'm thinking, like, what is he talking about? What ignore the crowd? We won 4-0, new manager. We are Watford. We are 8th on the table, We are not 18th. We are there. What is he talking about? But it got into the core of the crowd, and it was very difficult to change.
Yeah.
Every goal that you concede brought them back to it's happening again.
Yeah.
Pozzo out, or whatever.
Yeah.
That was difficult.
Slav, were your happy experiences at West Ham? I mean, first season 7th, second season, the first in the London Stadium, 11th.
Yeah.
There was a lot to do. I mean, The transition to the London Stadium, how hard was that to manage?
That's very hard. That's why I'm more proud of our second season than at our first one. Upton Park, a specific stadium, you know,
So
nobody
tight,
liked
Incredible
to
atmosphere.
play, and because it was big part of my job. I was doing my homework. I was talking to the players. I mean, the big players, they hate it. You know, the strikers, no matter the English or foreign, they hate it to play against West Ham away. Small ground, pitch in November, December is not the greatest one. Then the chicken run, you have the fence, everything. I don't want to play there. When I saw those same players coming to Olympic Stadium, hour and a half before the game to check the pitch, you know, and they are like, oh, I can't wait, and that's not easy. That transformation was not easy. That's why I told you in the beginning. That's why I'm very proud of our second season. So it's not you know,
You're
you
forced
have
to play
some
more football, aren't you?
You are
'Cause
forced. It's like arena.
Because you
It's
cannot
like-
you can't get the energy. You kind of, you know, I kind of likened it to like you're driving a car. We shouldn't be saying that, but driving a car through a built-up area, and everything's really, really fast, and suddenly all the stadia is like far out, and you can't create this energy. Everything feels slow and ponderous, doesn't it?
Exactly.
It's not a good watch.
And as a home team, you need that little bit of hostile atmosphere, and it's totally different. And it's like the difference is it's like pubs and bars. You know, it's like some people, they don't want, even the structure of the fence changed when they go from bowling ground to Olympic Stadium. It was more like this is, and especially
When you watch this,
with
Slaven,
the running
Slaven,
track
when you watch
around.
the team, watch the team now, it feels to me that this team's not buying into what the manager wants. Have you seen much of them?
Yeah.
Like, I don't. I think that obviously under David Moyes, they sat quite deep. They were quite structured. All the lines were close together, but they didn't really go to press. But this manager, I think, wants them to press a little bit. And I'm seeing so many goals where they play through the team, play through the lines, and it's too easy. And the two central defenders now, Mavropanos and Kilman, they look like they've got no mobility. They don't look like good players. Kilman was
Do you
considered to be-
sympathise with Lopetegui, Slaven? Because you've been in this similar
Because
situation.
I'm a manager.
Yeah.
No, my choice is always to back a manager. You know, up to some limit, of course, but I'm always on a manager's side.
Has he got them
Give
behind
every
him? Do you think
decent
they're really
manager
working for him?
Time, he'll do it. You have many examples. You have Arteta. Also, in the beginning, it wasn't that good, you know, what he done. You have many managers like that.
There's
So
friction here. I don't sense that these players are really giving.
what I don't
everything.
like about West Ham at the moment or this season is I don't see that they are together. I don't see that they are dying on a pitch. Literally, I don't see that. I don't see that energy. But then again, at the same time, it's easy to give up or when you are losing 3 or 4-0 at the half time. You know, it's easy to stop
The heads go down.
fighting. But I don't see, you are right, I don't see that camaraderie.
But I think it's all to do with the changeover of the managers, because David Moyes never really wanted to press high up the pitch. And I think this guy has tried to change that, and the group haven't really bought into it. They're not set up. Their midfield hasn't got the mobility to go and press.
Although, don't get me wrong, it's if you are a manager who wants to play a little bit more football,
Which he is.
It is a little bit more football. It's the same sport. The people are talking about extremes, but it's same sport. It's a great situation if you are coming after David Moyes. It happened to me. I'm organized. I like to be organized and everything, but I like to play. I came after Sam. So I came, and the team was
Structure.
I was going to
structured.
ask you,
The-
I mean, culturally going into West Ham, I mean, you followed Sam, someone else follows David Moyes. Is it a difficult club to manage? You know, David Sullivan I can take or leave, but that's my personal relationship with him. But for you managing West Ham with the culture of this football club, its expectations of the perception of how it wants to play, is it a difficult club to manage?
Every club is difficult to manage. West Ham is a big club. It's a mess. For me, it's difficult to talk about West Ham because I was there as a player and as a manager. But West Ham is a big club, but it's a big club even if you ask the people in Croatia. West Ham, when I'm saying big, I don't mean Arsenal. I don't mean Man United or Man City or Liverpool or Chelsea. No. But West Ham is, with the greatest respect, bigger than Wolverhampton's, bigger than Bournemouth, bigger than Crystal Palace.
Indeed.
Big time, not bigger, big time bigger.
But
There's
how
a
do you
little bit
manage
of 66 in that story. There's a little bit of, now the gates are crazy.
Incredible.
The gates are crazy.
57,000.
Maybe the gates are top 10 or 15 in Europe.
That's right.
So West Ham has every reason to want to make that step in let's say quality wise, or in a way you are approaching the season.
Yeah.
We want to do that.
Is it tough
And
to
what
please them,
David
though,
Moyes
Slav?
done-
Is it tough to please the fans?
It is, but but nowadays it's very tough to please everybody who is from this new generation. I know they want it now. They want everything. Give me everything. Give me now, and keep giving.
There's
me.
always a sense of
always.
entitlement,
So,
The West Ham
my
fan
kids are
feels
like that.
There's a sense
I
of
love them.
entitlement with the West Ham fan. You always feel that they going back to the 60s and the football they play, that they expect more. And really, is it realistic from the fan?
Yeah, but there is, and the people are laughing about West Ham way. West Ham way. So it's becoming like a synonym for what are you talking about? What is West Ham way? But there is West Ham way. I played there. 2
What is the
seasons.
West Ham way?
And at that time, under Harry Redknapp, we weren't a great team. We were struggling. But Harry was always, we were struggling. We were organized. But the midfielders were Ian Bishop and John Moncur, ball-playing ones. He bought Paolo Futre, Raducioiu, Dumitrescu. West Ham always, after that, Di Canio, for me, West Ham way is full of energy, be organized, die for it, fight for it, but give us a little bit
Quality
of football. And then, is it the likes like Di Canio? Is it Payet? Is it Joe Cole or Carrick or whoever they were producing from the academy? Or is it Lantini?
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.